People say weddings bring families together. Mine tore mine apart. When my own parents stood up at my reception and called my wedding an embarrassment, something inside me shattered. But none of them, not my parents, not my fiancé's family, knew the storm they had just awakened inside me. My name is Rowan Blake, and I swear I felt the first crack in my chest the moment I saw my parents whispering at my wedding. My mother's lips were tight, my father's eyebrows twisted, and I heard my own voice whisper, "Please, not today." Liam touched my arm. "You okay?" "I'm fine," I lied, because that's what I'd been trained to say my whole life. When I walked over to my parents, they didn't even pretend to smile. "Mom," I said softly, "is everything all right?" She didn't answer me. She answered my dress. "You should have chosen something more elegant, Rowan. This looks cheap." I swallowed. "It's what I wanted." My father sighed loudly. "Always what you want. Never what the family needs." I looked past them, trying to breathe. Madison, my older sister, waved at me like she was greeting a toddler. "Don't worry, Ro. Some brides just have a harder time pulling things together." "Madison," I muttered, "please don't start." She smirked. "Just saying. I mean, the rehearsal dinner was a little messy too." "It wasn't messy," I said. "You made it messy when you kept questioning the seating chart." "Oh, come on," she said, rolling her eyes. "You put Chloe next to Tyler. They dated, remember?" Chloe walked by just then. "Please don't drag me into this," she whispered. "I'm just here to celebrate you." Liam slipped beside me. "We should get ready for the ceremony, babe." "Right," I said, forcing a smile. "Let's get married." But even as I said it, I felt that old familiar ache, the one that started when I was 8 and realized Madison was the golden child. She won trophies. I won criticism. She got praise. I got reminders to try harder. When Liam and I first started dating, I hoped maybe, just maybe, my parents would see something good in my choice. Instead, my mother had pulled me aside. "Rowan," she whispered, "he's ordinary. Don't you want someone who can elevate your life?" "He makes me feel safe," I told her. She blinked as if safety were an insult. On the morning of the wedding, she'd walked into the bridal suite, glanced at me once, and said, "You look tired. Try not to let it show." I tried to laugh it off, but when she left, Chloe said, "Ro, that wasn't okay." "It's fine," I told her. She's always like that. But today, of all days, I wanted something different, something soft, something like love. The ceremony went beautifully, because in that moment, all I saw was Liam. His steady eyes. His warm hands. His voice shaking as he said, "I choose you." For a few hours, I let myself believe things would be okay. Then the reception started. I was taking photos with friends when I heard my father's voice rise. "I can't believe she planned something like this." My mother added, "It's embarrassing. Truly embarrassing." My stomach twisted. I stepped closer. "What's embarrassing?" They both turned. My father spoke first. "This whole event. The decorations, the music, the people you invited. It feels cheap, Rowan." I stared at him. "These are my friends. Liam's friends. Family." Mother looked away as if the room itself offended her. "This isn't a Blake-level wedding." Madison snorted a laugh behind them. "Just being honest." I whispered, "Why can't you just be happy for me?" My father lifted his glass and tapped it loudly, calling for attention. My heart stopped. "Dad," I said, "don't." But he already had the mic. "We appreciate everyone coming," he said, smiling the fake politician smile he used when he wanted control. "But I must say, this wedding is not what we expected from a daughter of our family." A murmur spread across the room. My mother stood beside him. "Yes. We raised Rowan with higher standards. This is, frankly, an embarrassment to the Blake family." People gasped. My throat burned. "Stop," I whispered. "Please stop." Liam rushed to my side. "What the hell are you doing?" My father waved him off. "We're being honest. Someone needs to teach her what a proper wedding looks like." I felt every eye turning toward me. My pulse pounded in my ears. I stepped back, then back again, until my heels hit the wall. "Rowan," Liam whispered, "look at me." But I couldn't. I could barely breathe. "I just wanted one day," I whispered. "One day you wouldn't tear me apart." My mother shrugged. "Grow up, Rowan." Something inside me snapped so quietly, I barely heard it. But I felt it, like a small, desperate part of me finally giving up. I sank into myself, into that old, wounded version of me I swore I'd never be again. And in front of everyone I loved, I broke. The second my parents finished humiliating me, I ran. I didn't wait for Liam to catch my arm or for anyone to comfort me. I just sprinted down the hallway, pushed into the bridal suite, and locked the door behind me. My hands shook so violently I could barely twist the lock. I slid down the wall, gasping. Why would they do that? My mascara smeared across my palms as I pressed my hands to my face. I felt 13 again, standing on stage at my school talent show, singing my heart out, only to hear my mother whisper to my father, "She's not Madison." I remembered the flush of shame, the sting of comparison, the feeling of being second place in my own family. Outside the bridal suite, I heard voices. My mother's. "Honestly, Howard, she never listens. We warned her. Warned me." As if my wedding was some dangerous mistake. My father added, "Maybe this embarrassment will finally teach her something." My stomach turned. I covered my ears, but their voices kept leaking through. A soft knock followed. "Ro! It's me. Madison." I stiffened instantly. "Go away." "Come on, don't be dramatic," she said, her tone dripping with that fake sister sweetness she saved for public spaces. "I'm trying to help." "No," I whispered. "You're trying to feel superior." She scoffed. "I'm literally standing here offering support." "I don't want your support." "Fine," she snapped. "But you're making things worse. Mom and Dad are furious." Something inside me cracked deeper. They humiliated me in front of everyone. Madison paused. Then, "Well, you know how they are." "Exactly," I said. "I know exactly how they are." Her silence told me she didn't like where this was going. "Just clean yourself up. People are staring." I stood, walked up to the door, and said through the wood, "Leave, Madison." Footsteps retreated. I exhaled shakily, pacing the small room. My reflection in the mirror looked like a ghost. Makeup streaked, hair falling apart, eyes red and swollen. "Happy wedding," I muttered bitterly. A memory flashed me at 16, showing my mother my art portfolio, excited because my teacher said I had real talent. My mother barely glanced at it. "Art won't get you anywhere, Rowan. Why can't you be more like Madison? She thinks realistically." I whispered to my reflection now, why was nothing ever good enough? Another knock. But this one was soft. Careful. "Ro! It's me, it's Liam." My heart clenched. "It's unlocked," I said weakly. He opened the door slowly, like he was afraid I might shatter. Maybe I already had. He knelt in front of me. "Hey, look at me." I tried, but my voice cracked. "I'm sorry." "Don't," he said firmly. "You didn't do anything wrong. They embarrassed you too." "Rowan," he whispered, brushing a tear from my cheek, "the only people embarrassing themselves are your parents." I broke then. Completely. The ugly cry loud, messy, shaking so hard I could barely breathe. Liam pulled me into his chest and held me like he was afraid I might fall apart in pieces. "I've spent my whole life trying to make them proud," I sobbed. "I thought if I worked harder, smiled more, tried more, maybe they'd finally see me." "I see you," he whispered. "I've always seen you. I married you because you love me," I said. "But I think I've been living for their approval. Even today. Even now." Liam lifted my chin. "Rowan, you don't need their approval to build a life. You're enough. You've always been enough." Hearing that made my chest ache in a new way, like the truth was finally pushing itself past all the lies I'd been fed. We sat like that for a while, my head on his shoulder, his thumb brushing my hand. I felt safe. I felt something I never felt around my parents, loved without condition. Then the voices returned outside the door. My mother again. She needs to come out and apologize. She humiliated us. Apologize? To them? My father added, she shouldn't have reacted like that. She made a scene. Liam's jaw tightened. Are they serious? I stood slowly. Something hot and sharp rose in my chest, not sadness this time. Anger. I've apologized my whole life, I whispered. For existing the wrong way. For not being Madison. For wanting things they didn't approve of. Rowan, Liam said carefully, you don't owe them anything. I wiped my face with the back of my hand. They want an apology. He nodded. I stared at the door. They're not getting one. What are you going to do? He asked softly. I felt the fire rise higher, steadier, stronger than I'd ever felt it. I'm done, I whispered. And for the first time that day, the words didn't break me, they rebuilt me. Three days after the wedding, I finally drove to my parents' house. My stomach twisted the whole way there. Liam offered to come with me, but I told him, I need to do this myself. I wasn't sure if that was bravery or leftover guilt pretending to be courage. When I knocked, my mother opened the door with a stiff smile. Rowan. Finally. I stepped inside. We need to talk. My father looked up from the dining table. Good. We were hoping you'd apologize. I blinked. Apologize? For what? For embarrassing us, he said, folding his arms. I laughed once, sharp and humorless. You humiliated me on my wedding day. My mother waved a hand. You're being dramatic. Again. There it is, I whispered. The word you've used my whole life. She frowned. Well, you are sensitive, Rowan. Too sensitive? I asked. Is that what you really think? She paused only a second, but enough. Yes. You always have been. Everything bruises you. I stared at her. Because you hit every bruise. My father sighed impatiently. This is exactly what we meant. Madison never made things this complicated. Of course. Madison. The perfect one. I turned toward him. Why did you treat her better? He shrugged like it was obvious. Because she made the family look good. You rebelled. You chose odd hobbies. You dated the wrong people. And now you married someone, average. My heart squeezed so hard I felt breathless. So I was never meant to shine, right? Just stay small enough to make Madison look brighter. My father didn't deny it. My mother didn't deny it. Instead, my mother sat down and said, your sister always had potential. You required more guidance. Guidance? I echoed. Is that what you call tearing me down? Just then Madison walked in from the hallway. Are we seriously still talking about this? I turned. Yes. Because I'm done pretending everything's fine. She crossed her arms. You're overreacting. No, I said. I'm finally reacting. Madison scoffed. Mom and Dad were just being honest. Liam isn't exactly impressive. I felt heat rise in my chest. Why do you hate him so much? I don't hate him, she said too quickly. I just think you could have done better. Stop, I said. What did you tell them? Madison blinked. What? What lies did you tell Mom and Dad about Liam? I asked. Because something doesn't add up. My mother stiffened. My father straightened. Madison's face went pale. I stepped closer. Tell me. She looked at our parents, then back at me. Fine. I said he was using you. My breath vanished. Why? Because you were changing, she snapped. You were getting confident, independent. And you stopped telling me everything. I stared at her, stunned. You told them he wanted me for money? She lifted her chin. You don't have much, but he could still take advantage. Liam works full-time, I whispered. He has a better salary than I do. You knew that. She shrugged. I didn't want you to make a mistake. No, I said quietly. You didn't want me to outgrow you. Her silence was the answer. My father muttered, she told us she was worried. No, I cut him off. She lied. And you believed her because you already wanted to. My mother glared at Madison suddenly. Is that true? Madison swallowed. I just thought. My father's voice rose. Madison, do you understand how bad that makes us look? There it was. Not how badly did we hurt Rowan, but how do we look? I felt something snap loose inside me, not pain this time, but clarity. I'm done, I said softly. My mother stepped forward. Don't be ridiculous. We're your family. No, I whispered. Family doesn't destroy your wedding. Family doesn't compare you to your sister your whole life. Family doesn't believe lies because it's easier than loving you. My father's jaw tightened. So what, you're going to walk away? I am, I said. For my sanity. Madison scoffed. You won't last a week without us. I smiled sadly. Watch me. I walked to the door. My legs felt like lead, like each step was ripping pieces of me loose. I didn't turn around when my mother shouted my name. I didn't look back when my father cursed under his breath. I walked out and didn't stop until I reached my car. It hurt. God, it hurt. But it was the first clean pain I'd ever felt. Over the next few days, the fallout began naturally. Neighbors whispered about my parents' outburst. My aunt called, furious with. Months passed before I felt like I could breathe again. Not all at once, more like little pockets of peace that slowly stitched themselves together. Liam and I settled into a life that finally felt quiet, safe. My laughter stopped sounding like an apology. My mornings weren't filled with dread. For the first time, I woke up feeling like my life belonged to me. One evening, while Liam cooked dinner, I stood on our porch watching the sky soften into shades of gold. He stepped outside, wiping his hands on a towel. You look peaceful, he said. I'm trying to be, I murmured. You're doing better than trying. He kissed my forehead. You're healing. I just wish, I whispered, that healing didn't feel so guilty sometimes. Liam held my face. You don't owe them your life. I nodded, wanting to believe him completely. But the universe, or fate, or karma, doesn't let you move on without testing you. Because that same night, I heard frantic knocking at the front door. Liam froze. You expecting anyone? No. When I opened the door, my parents stood on the porch. My mother's mascara had bled down her cheeks. My father's face was red and puffy. Behind them, Madison hovered, her arms crossed like a shield. My mother reached for me immediately. Rowan, please talk to us. I stepped back. Why are you here? My father exhaled shakily. Everything is falling apart. People won't stop asking questions about the wedding. Your aunt called me disrespectful. The neighbors. I held up a hand. So you're here because you lost face? My mother winced. Honey, it's more complicated. No, I said. It's really not. My father's voice cracked. We need you to come home. Help us fix this. I stared at them. Fix what? Our reputation, my mother whispered. There it was. The truth that finally killed the last naive piece of me. You didn't come because you love me, I said. You came because you're embarrassed. Madison huffed. Oh my God, Rowan, stop being so self-centered. They're hurting. I looked at her. They're hurting because they were exposed. Not because they hurt me. My father pointed at Liam, who had stepped beside me. You put ideas in her head. Liam didn't flinch. Your daughter learned the truth. That's not my doing. I stepped forward. Do you want to hear the ideas in my head? The ones you say are so dangerous. My mother wiped her eyes. Rowan, please. No, I said, voice trembling but firm. You're going to hear this. They fell silent. All my life, I begged for your approval. I begged for even a scrap of love. And every time I reached for you, you pushed me toward Madison. You compared us so much that I forgot I was allowed to be my own person. My mother whispered, that's not true. It is, I said. You called me too sensitive. You made me feel like everything about me was wrong. And on the one day I needed you to love me without judgment, you humiliated me. Tears streamed down my face, but for once I didn't hide them. My father swallowed. We just wanted the best for you. No, I corrected. You wanted the best for yourselves. You wanted a daughter who made you look good. You wanted perfection. You wanted Madison. Madison scoffed, but even she looked shaken. You never wanted me to shine, I said softly. Because if I did, I might stop needing you. My mother whispered, please come home. I am home, I said. My father's voice cracked. So you're choosing them over us? I glanced at Liam, then back at them. No. I'm choosing me. Madison stepped forward. You're making a mistake. I shook my head. The mistake was letting you hurt me for so long. My father pointed at the neighbors' houses down the street. People will talk. Let them, I said. Because I'm done protecting people who never protected me. My mother sobbed. Rowan, please. I took a deep breath. My hands shook, but my voice didn't. I forgive you, I said. But that doesn't mean I want you in my life. Her knees buckled a little, but Liam held my hand firmly. I stepped back, inside my home. Goodbye. Then I closed the door. Not with rage. Not with spite. With